Bye.
That was hard for the mom.
That's cute.
The President's Commission. The Office of the Commission of the President. The President's Commission.
Presidential
We
commission.
love it.
That's how
I think it's support statement. Yes. I call this meeting to order at 7:14 p.m. Is that yes? The signing of the attendance sheet is being partaken in. We are going to approve the minutes from the 18th. Is there a motion?
I motion to approve the minutes from February 18th.
Sweet. Is there a second? Lalo seconds. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By motion of 10 to 0 to 0, the motion passes and the minutes are approved. Agenda. Are there amendments to the agenda?
I motion to move the FSC bylaw change to be above the appointments.
We can just do that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. There's a discussion.
Get back.
Oh, no, I said it's already an action item, so I'll take it.
Yeah, she needs to add something though.
And then, okay, I motion to add the FSC community liaison to the appointments.
Okay. As an act, that's a
As a-
consent, right? Or is it
Like,
stipend?
it's not stipended, no.
So it is a consent.
Okay, yeah,
Wait, can you repeat it? What's her name?
FSC community liaison.
We still have to vote on it.
I second.
Okay. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My motion of 10 to 0 to 0. The motion passes, and the appointment. Sorry, what's the name again?
FSC community.
FSC community liaisons added to the agenda as a consent item vote. Anything else?
Strike ASRF,
Strike ASRF.
strike TGIF,
Strike TGIF.
strike R.
Is that anything else?
That's it. Is that it? Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I motion to approve the agenda.
Wait. We should move the bylaw change to above.
Oh, the bylaw change, the FSC bylaw change, can it be above the appointments? Also, just FYI for everyone here, is it above? Okay, good, never mind, because I'm worried we'll lose quorum if somebody walks out, so.
Almost 10, right?
But, yeah, so 2 people walk out, actually. Okay, sorry. Okay, then one more person has to stay, or one person, nobody could leave after that. Okay, so did somebody move it? Did they move it? Yeah, they moved it. Was there already a motion? Okay. Yeah.
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Second. All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By motion of 10 to 0 to 0, the motion passes when the agenda is approved. Okay, we're going to move right into public comment. Hi, everyone. Public comments divided into 3 different rounds. No audio, no video. Audio, no video, and audio and video. Each public commenter shall have 2 minutes to speak one time. All we ask is be respectful and be respectful of each other's time. With that, just raise your hand if you want to speak. So I'll start with. Oh, wait, isn't it no? Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're good. It's totally fine. We'll wait a second. Sorry.
Hi guys, I'm Sarah, upper temperature. Hope you guys are doing well. I have a pretty exciting gift for you guys. So caliper partners chapters across the U.S. to release an expose on some pretty horrible practices that textbook companies have been engaging in to really like make students' lives a lot harder. So we are releasing an expose on Thursday about automatic billing, or what companies are trying to call inclusive access. And this is where students are automatically charged for textbooks after they enroll in classes. So like you enroll and it automatically shows up on your Bruin bill. And it's really hard to opt out of. And so we are going to be publishing our findings on these predatory practices that textbook companies are using to take advantage of students. And so they're supposed to follow these two rules of allowing students to opt out and offering the materials at a discounted price. But we've actually found that this is not happening, that students are not getting the discount that they're supposed to for inclusive access, as they would from being able to shop around or share with friends and use other options. As well as a lot of times students aren't even actually able to opt out of these processes, or it's like an incredibly difficult process to do. So we're going to be releasing this report on Thursday to bring light to a lot of these practices that are making it extremely difficult for students to have affordable course materials, and then making it so that students are forced to pay for these materials whether or not they chose to. And a lot of different schools are using this automatic billing process, including here at UCLA. I know that the econ department and some of their classes is using it, and so we're hoping to put an end to these practices so that students can actually have a decision to purchase their textbooks and not be forced to buy the textbooks at the price that the publisher is setting. So yeah, this is supposed to be coming out on Thursday. I'll send it to all of you guys. Keep your eyes out for this, but we are working really hard to make sure that companies are not able to keep using these processes that take advantage of students and stop us from having control over our own educational experience. So yeah.
Front row, anybody else? Okay. Last rows. Navi.
So just a couple of things. One is for this one, my office just created a form for referenda. So if anybody's planning on running a referenda, if you know someone who's planning on doing that, please have them fill it out. It's on the website. Just allows us to track how many there are, who's going to get a designated campaign represented. Second thing is the elections board posted the applications were live, and only the office of the president has shared that post. So I'd really like all council members to go ahead and share that post. You can do it as I'm talking. I don't mind. Please do it. I mentioned this last week too. And then lastly, I have a statement on that the elections board executive committee actually voted to release regarding internal USAC elections. So I'm just going to read that. It has come to the attention of the elections board that USAC offices that have historically not engaged in internal elections are planning on doing so, including the executive offices. Let us be clear, internal elections, including those that take place in commissions, threaten the democratic underpinnings of the Undergraduate Students Association and threaten the ability of students not involved in student government and in positions of power. The elections board understands and respects that institutional knowledge is needed to operate certain commissions and offices. However, the practice of internal elections is in no way represented as the voice of the student body and at best can be considered practice of meritocracy. For commissions where a high level of institutional knowledge is genuinely critical, the step in the positive direction can be offered to candidates to place the ballot. The USA Constitution, USA bylaws, and the USA Elections Code in no way establish elections as they would be in diametric opposition to the principles on which student government needs to was founded. Furthermore, the election board in no way recognizes the legitimacy of internal elections or any internally elected candidates, and may sanction candidates running the official 2020 USAC elections to the full force applicable in a situation for infractions, including but not limited to use of unofficial office endorsements and use of incorrect titles. We strongly urge all council members to reassess the practice of internal elections. Do not strip away the voice of the student body and actively undermine students' rights to determine who represents them and their interests. Signed, the 2020 Undergraduate Students Association Elections Board Executive Committee. We just noticed a troubling trend. As you know, voter turnout and also the amount of people that run these elections has been going down. And while taking a SAS class, correlation is not by causation, but there's also no correlation in the number of internal elections that have taken place. So we wanted to make sure that we issued a formal statement, just to kind of get it on the record that this trend is not really something that we're happy to see. Other than that, please make sure you do share the post. Again, campus to run. Really excited. It's been seen by like 11,000 to 12,000 people, but we'd love to get as many people on campus to see it. Thank you.
Maybe not. Okay, with that, we will continue with public comment. Last call for any public commenters. Okay, with that, then we will end public comment at 7:24 and then we'll move right into our funding bodies. Is there capital contingency for this week?
Yeah.
Awesome.
This week we received one application for capital contingency. The total amount requested was $711.99, and our recommendation is $582.
I motion to approve the capital contingency allocation of $582.
I second.
All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All abstaining? 1. Okay, by motion of 12 to 0 to 1, the motion passes and capital contingency is approved for this week. Contingency programming.
Okay. Contingency programming received 23 applications. This is both for USAC and non-USAC groups. The total amount requested was $83,519.35, and our recommended amount is $7,488.62.
Say 83,000.
I motion to allocate $7,488.62 to USAC and non-USAC.
I second.
All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All abstaining? 1. By motion of 12 to 0 to 1, the motion passes and contingency is approved for this week. SFS allocations.
Hi. This week, SFS received 3 applications for a total requested amount of $2,909.12 and has a recommended allocation of $1,035 even.
Is there any opposition to SFS allocations for this week? Okay, sorry.
And with that, SFS is out of money for the quarter. So SFS is closed. Just so you know, it will reopen week 1 of spring.
Any opposition? This is why we're running a referendum. Seeing as there is no opposition, then SFS allocations are approved for this week. Thanks, Jonathan. SWC programming fund allocations.
The total requested was $782.27, and the total allocated was $782.27 to 2 non-USAC groups.
Is there any opposition? Okay, seeing as there's no opposition, then SWC programming fund allocations are approved for this week. Bruin advocacy grant allocations. John?
There's none.
Okay. Sweet, so we'll strike that for this week. AAC travel mini grant allocations, Naomi.
Travel mini grant allocations for this week are $1,021 to non-USAC entities.
Is there any opposition? Seeing as there's no opposition, then AAC travel mini grant allocations are approved for this week. Okay, with that, we're going to move right into special presentations, starting with the ASUCLA Event Services presentation on ASUCLA Event Resources.
Can we table that to next week?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
It's not here.
We will table that to next
Thank
week.
you, sorry.
With that, we will move into the Good Close, Good People presentation. Just to start this, it's not about the referenda. This is just an update coming from GCGP. So feel free to ask questions though. So. Yeah, it's been shared with Jessica's email.
The power.
I'll just forward it to the SGS.
I just posted the presentation in the GroupMe for anybody who doesn't have it yet. So you all will have about like 5 to 10 minutes to present, and then we'll do like a 5-minute question and answer if anybody has questions.
Alright, okay. Hi, I'm Elaine. I'm the president of Good Code Good People next year, and I'm just gonna give y'all an update about what we've accomplished this year so far. And so if you don't know who we are yet, we are a nonprofit organization here on campus located at SAC 54, and we focus on the intersection between accessibility and sustainability. And how we do that is we offer secondhand clothes, hygiene products, and school supplies, as well as some items for a rental basis for students. And how we collect the clothes is through our clothing donation bins, and those used to be trash cans that have been repurposed by Green Visual Arts Club, and they are now all spread out throughout campus, such as an alumni center and sorority houses, and we bring those clothes back to the center and we redistribute those. And since last year, we've added a lot of new items, and that includes index cards, tissues, band-aids, socks, as well as some rental items such as crutches and wheelchairs, so students can rent those items out for 3 weeks at a time. And we just got restocked, so we're hoping to put out umbrellas for rental basis for 48 hours for students to use. And then another thing that is on our rental wear is our career corner. So that's just a little corner in our center, and we have suits, ties, dresses, shirts, skirts, and formal shoes that are all for rental basis for a week at a time, free for all students. And then one of my favorite projects that we've created so far is our hygiene refill station. And so how that works is that we have these huge glass bottles back in our center, and students can come in and bring in their empty hygiene bottles, and we refill it for free. And all of our products are organic and non-toxic. And we actually had an event on the presentation. You can see a picture. We had an event on Bruin Walk where we had the bottles out on Bruin Walk to just publicize it more and let students know about our resources. And so we're hoping that in the future, with stable funding, we're going to be able to offer that to students all the time, and we won't have to run out for any of the bottles that we provide. And in regards to student impact, we reached almost 1,500 students last year. And how we track that number is we have an iPad and we ask all the students that come and visit the center to check out on it. And just this year alone, so until like yesterday, we reached almost the exact same number. And so we still have one more quarter left, so we're hoping to reach even more than that number from last year. And we partnered with so many organizations since we've been founded, and that includes Red Life organizations. We've had a lot of clothing swaps, and in the future, we're also partnering with ASUCLA, so we're in the talks with them to see if we can implement our hygiene station here in Akron. Any questions? Yeah.
Do you, sorry, I just forgot my question.
Questions? Isabel?
Not for long.
Okay. Any questions for GCGP? Okay. Great. Thank you all for updating us. We appreciate it. And congrats, Elaine. I'm sure you'll do great next year. Okay. With that, we are going to move on to the FSC bylaw change.
Yes, okay, so I sent it to all of you, but basically it's just that FSC's appointment used to be the Parking Advocacy Task Force. I think we talked about it like earlier, last quarter, earlier this quarter, but the Parking Advocacy Task Force, like for years hasn't really done much. They don't really have much of a purpose. So I've moved to change it to the FSC Commuter Liaison, which would be in direct connection with the commuter committee through first year experience. The commuter committee has like reached out to my office specifically and asked for like more help and more student representation. So I thought it'd be like a great way for USAC to take advantage of that and fill an appointment that usually hasn't been doing much. So yeah,
Okay, CRC. Oh, it was not sent to CRC? Okay,
it was.
it was sent to CRC.
We didn't have a chance to review.
Did not have a chance to review. Okay, so my impression, Dr. Geller, is we can still move forward just with no recommendation from CRC. I mean, like as an option, or we can just table it.
It's not best practice. If it's not time sensitive and the 1 week delay wouldn't prevent someone from participating, it would be better to follow your standard procedures. You can have a discussion tonight if you like, but let the review happen and take your vote next week.
Okay, my appointment is here like, for it, so I was hoping to fill it tonight. If possible.
Yeah. I mean, Dr. Geller is.
I mean, you're certainly free to engage in a discussion with the potential appointee
And then vote next week.
and then do the formal vote next week. This is not stipended, correct?
No.
So it's a consent item.
Okay.
I'm sorry, is the appointment on the agenda?
Yes.
I thought that it's under the bylaw change.
Was it on the agenda on Friday?
Like, okay, yeah.
But if it's a consent item, then.
It would just require paper review by CRC, right?
Right, it's a paper review. They just need a
Or
resume.
ARC too. Well, wait, CRC for the bylaw change and ARC paper review
Right,
for
so-
vote.
Right, so ARC for the appointment, it's just a paper review. They only need the resume. They don't need an interview. And they couldn't have done it until after the bylaws because the position doesn't exist until
I
after.
had sent it last.
You had sent the
The
bylaw
bylaw
change?
change, yeah.
Okay. So,
It was put on the agenda last week, but it wasn't like sent, it was sent to us like
It was
Tuesday. It wasn't like sent to CRC for review ever. Like I got it on Tuesday. Like.
wait, just
Last
really for
week on
clarification, who did
Monday,
you send
right?
it? Yeah, the bylaw
Two,
change.
I was confused on who was in it, but I remember I sent to at least a few. And I think you
I
forwarded.
replied saying that I couldn't remember if we'd already looked at it, or,
I don't think you did, because I had sent it just then.
sorry.
I had sent the bylaw change then when you responded to it. Like you responded to it saying, I don't know if CRC already looked at it,
Yeah,
but I had sent it like that day of, so. And then you said that you guys weren't meeting until Wednesday, the 18th, right?
yes, but I was waiting for your response because I didn't know if you'd already looked at it, and then there was no response.
Okay, I mean, whatever, I don't know, that's,
Yeah,
we could just have a discussion and then vote next week, is that fine?
yeah. I think Dr. Geller, that's your suggestion. That we just,
My suggestion would actually be for the bylaw change to have the discussion move forward with the vote, recognizing that it wasn't reviewed and there's no recommendation, so that you can have the appointment on next week's agenda. You can't put an appointment that doesn't exist on an agenda. So you need to do the bylaw vote a week before the week you're going to vote on the appointment.
okay. So yeah, because we've done appointments in the past with no recommendation from ARC.
You don't
but
need a
you're-
recommendation, but
We
they
need the
need a
bylaws.
chance to, they need a chance to review. They don't have to recommend.
Okay. Okay, so we can do that, so we can change the bylaw tonight and then move forward, next week with the appointment.
It's,
And also for consent item appointments, you can just introduce yourself tonight and you don't have to come next week, for example.
Yeah,
So,
that's all it is.
okay, yeah, then let's just move forward with that. Is everybody okay with that? Okay, great. Then we will, the bylaw change, I guess, will happen first. So Millen, since they didn't review it, or didn't have the chance to review it, do you mind like going over it, I guess? Council, in
Yeah.
a little bit greater detail?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just changing the appointment that it used to be, which is the parking advocacy task force, to the commuter liaison, who will work like directly for the commuter committee and be like USAC's liaison to them.
Any questions about this?
Wait, is the additions in Is that like all of the additions or?
Yeah, it's just like everything that mentioned the Parking Advocacy Task Force for FSC in the Constitution has just been changed to computer liaison. So there's like three
Oh,
different
okay.
sections.
Because
Does
it's
that
not
make sense?
bolded. Because the changes aren't bolded, so is that all?
This is like what it is changed.
And
So,
the previous sections are being cut.
so
So my impression is, wait, what position used to be here?
Parking Advocacy Task Force.
So you just replaced,
Just
yeah.
anything that said Parking Advocacy Task Force, I just changed to commuter liaison and like changed the description to be for the commuter committee.
so I think what's being said is just like, and this is fine for tonight, it's not a huge deal, but in the future, like with bylaw changes, just strike through what you're cutting and then add it.
Yeah,
I know that can be like a complicated procedure, but,
Okay.
like, this can still be approved tonight. I'm just saying, like, in the future, as best practice, that would be, for everybody's sake, it would be helpful. So, are we cool? Does everybody understand what's happening?
Question, why did you go to CFC?
I emailed it.
Yeah,
I emailed it early last week. Yeah. That's been said.
Why wasn't it in time?
I emailed it early last week on
I feel like that's,
Monday,
yeah, not a question
Yeah.
for me.
I'm just.
and it's like a week later, so I don't.
Okay.
Other questions? Okay, seeing as there's no recommendation from CRC, but given the urgency of filling an appointment by next week, is there a motion to approve the bylaw change?
A motion to approve the bylaw change, the FSC bylaw change.
Kalechi seconds, all in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all abstaining? 1. Okay, by a motion of 12 to 0 to 1, the motion passes and the FSC bylaw change is approved. Awesome. Okay, then we will move into just a discussion then on the appointment, so then you don't have to show up next week. So this can be very short since it's a consent item, though. You can just give us an introduction of who you are and why you're. Yeah.
Hello, Council. I'm Michael Skinner. Thank you for your consideration of my appointment as FSC Commuter Liaison. As both a non-traditional student and a student who commutes from Van Nuys, I've become acutely aware of the challenges that being a commuter can pose to inclusion and academic success. If appointed, I'll begin working to help advance projects and programs that will bring together the fragmented community of commuters while addressing concerns related to parking and transportation. In an effort to increase communication efforts between USAC and the commuter committee, I introduced myself and my ideas to Carmen Garcia-Shustari, who is the Assistant Director of UCLA First Year Experience and head of the commuter committee. I scheduled a meeting for Friday, March 13th, where we'll be discussing our ideas for a commuter lounge, where things stand in regard to its funding and location on campus, and how we can work to collect more data from student commuters in order to better address their needs on other topics. And I also provided to Carmen and the commuter committee at the last meeting as a prospective commuter liaison. A few of my ideas, which are as follows: using the commuter lounge as a networking hub where student commuters can make connections and friendships that non-commuting students often make living on campus or in apartments with other students. I also suggested that we use the space to host publicized events for commuters and non-traditional students, and possibly include an aspect of peer tutoring services for commuters, because we spend less time on campus than our non-community counterparts, and making efficient use of our time for studying is very important. It's also important to share events with commuter students that might affect traffic and parking, and provide forums for commuters' community feedback as to how USAC can improve the commuter experience. And then I was able to share a few aspects of San Diego State's commuter center that I hope to implement in UCLA. I look forward to working with you, the commuter committee, and FSC in creating and maintaining a responsive and welcoming environment for student commuters. And if appointed, I will do my best to advocate for commuters in the city.
Thank you. Are there any last minute questions for the appointment? This is a consent item appointment, so it usually goes through with less scrutiny than an action item because it's not stipended and it is under Willen's discretion. So, any questions? Okay. Oh yeah, John.
So as a guy coming from Van Nuys, and like I was mentioning, for me it's several hours I usually work in Metro, and I know that many other commuter students struggle with this. And I know Sachi Cooper recommended that I do this position.
Just wondering, this isn't necessarily directly related to your position, but like it would be under the purview. Have you talked to anybody from Northwestwood Neighborhood Council? I know they have a transportation committee that deals with a lot of like parking and accessibility issues in Westwood. Have you discussed any of the business that they're working on?
Not yet, I think that's to know that wasn't, I guess, if I get one, I would both look at that and then bring that up with the community, so no Westwood.
Yeah, the North, it's the council that oversees Westwood Village and UCLA. It's if you want, I can give you some contact information from them. Yeah, no, they'd just be a good group to reach out to.
Thank you.
Other questions? Okay, thank you for coming out tonight. We'll definitely vote next week to approve or not approve. So just be on the lookout for that. Thank you so much. Okay. Next, we are going to move right into officer reports. What do you know? Okay, so I'll make mine quick. Last week I flew up to Oakland for a day to meet with Janet Napolitano regarding a multitude of different UCs concerned. Actually, this might not be that quick, but a multitude of different concerns on the system-wide level with my fellow council student body presidents. There was one graduate student body president there, and I think 6 undergraduate student body presidents. Really, the main topic of concern was obviously the strike that's happening currently at UCSC, and that seems to be growing across the UCs in various forms. That was a concern. President Napolitano indicated to me that she was not willing to open renegotiations, which I think some of us disagreed with, but she was very focused on the safety of the students and seemed to be concerned about that. Other things that came up were about finding a region for the Central Valley, policing on campus. Those were the main, and the seismic, Proposition 13, I believe, is the seismic renovations proposition that's happening. Just her support for that and encouraging all of us governments to get involved with that advocacy. So that was that meeting. It was great to see everybody else and talk for a little bit. Beyond that, my affordability team has actually been working with Roy and Jessica to negotiate and talk with Westcom about permanently funding Blue Books and Scantrons on campus beyond just this year. So we're trying to make that happen before I'm out of office. My third platform is still doing stuff with ASECLA with GCGP and sustainability. That's in the talk about hygiene dispensers in ASECLA facilities. And then our first platform is going to be flyering a lot these upcoming weeks. I do not have the dates and times, but we have a lot of giveaways that were unused from Slack and other conferences that we're going to be giving out on Brew and Walk, just with infographics about USAC. So I don't know if any of you all have seen on the Facebook, some of your all's offices have been highlighted and publicized on the USAC page just for work that you all are doing. If you'd like to be on those graphics, just email Catherine Shin or Helen Sinchev. They're the ones that are creating them. But we're going to be publicizing that on Brew and Walk and giving away stuff just to engage students. So that's what's happening in OP. IVP.
So last week, our grassroots networking fair happened, and it went well. We got a lot of traction. Another the Bruin Advocacy Resource Fair is happening next week on Wednesday, March 4th, from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. This one is about student organizations that just with advocacy, grassroots, organizing, and all that. And then Trooper and Race Award Ceremony happened last Wednesday as well. That was really sweet. All the nominators were giving speeches to award the certificate to the nominees. So that was really sweet. They were good to too, and Lindsay was there. She gave an amazing speech. Campus Safety Alliance is happening next Wednesday at 6 p.m. in the same room. If you all didn't know, but the facial recognition policy is currently on hold or they banned it, but we're still following up with Vice Chancellor Beck to kind of give a formal statement about it. And also, Naomi and I also invited him
And oh, the IVP partnership fund is, a lot of student organizations are applying, so if you all could just like share it and like let people know that we are giving, money back to student organizations, that would be cool. Aside from that, I think that's.
Thank you. Joanna, EDP.
For EDP, vote center is now open. If you are eligible to vote in this country, vote center is now open. It's been open from Monday to March 3rd. So anytime between yesterday and until March 3rd, you are able to vote. It is in the room reception room. We will be continuing to do outreach for that. When we come closer to the session for my office on Thursday night. So if people on council don't vote, that will be nice. Secondly, my office was in support of, or is in support of a lot of the organizing going around regarding COLA and cost of living adjustment. Was also there. And at Cobell for their action today. Speaking of his organization, they were threatening students with not being able to walk into a dining hall. Otherwise, they will be recorded and accordingly be referred to student conduct for violating the student conduct code. So I think that'll be an interesting topic. I don't think there was any comments, but whatever. Lastly, my office has been doing a lot of organizing, a lot of planning, for different things that are going on since I haven't been at council. But last week we had our basic needs town hall. We had different representatives come, and get input from students about different basic needs issues that are going on with them. And also those representatives are able to share work that they are doing, in regards to basic needs issues. So that was a good opportunity that my office created for the students to engage with. Accordingly, we'll continue to be putting pressure on missionaries. We have a lot of different plans going on for that. And if any offices would like to support me with that, my office specifically would continue to do outreach and raise awareness and hopefully do actions regarding missionaries. Please let me know. I think that if we really stick together, we can successfully reject any future projects. I think it would be extremely, extremely helpful for future students. We're talking about thousands of students for several years to come. So while I ask if you're interested, I would hope that you're interested in, and if you're not interested in it, I will be reaching out to you to get your support for it. And I expect every office's collaboration for this. I mentioned in my speech that it is my job to sit here and tell you what's important to this campus, and that is one of those things that is important to this campus, given that every student that I've ever met is concerned about tuition. Lastly, I was paid as of Monday night, so I'm here forever now. It's been really difficult. I was starving for several weeks. But I appreciate anyone who did Venmo me because y'all helped pay for groceries. That was really, really, really helpful. And the Daily Green article about it was released today, so if you are not caught up on anything that happened, you're welcome to read that. But I'm not looking for your comments on that. And I think that's it.
Thank you, John. Glad you're back. Agenda 1.
Hello. So tomorrow, I mean, we're planning for some better logistical support on that exam for like, specifically for like graduation, specifically like cultural graduation, that kind of thing. So we basically have like template kind of thing, like what I think is better support them, slash what is the logistical support needed. So hopefully it'll be good around nourishment staff going as well. And then on Thursday, we have a meeting at along with SWC Student Health Network about the services that are being reviewed, and now we're meeting their exec team, I believe, that had thoughts on it, I guess. So that'll be fun meeting, I think. Maybe we'll have a full screen.
Yeah, you can shout it out.
And then Monday, I'll talk about that too. Last thing is our UC Pass survey is still out, so if you can share that, would be great. Comments that a lot of students have still been having. I was able to meet up with Jamie, who was EVP last year, so she kind of shared a lot of that last year. She will give you a lot of insight on that, give me context of what would be best to connect to within like admin, I think that's like interesting issues. So we'll be like contacting those folks to see what is like best for their issues. Yeah, that's it for me.
Thanks, Lama. Chapter 2.
So, I guess just going over the, platform elements. The bus, the housing is going to be doing physical tickets because they can have trouble with the website. So those will be sold at different desks at each of the residential halls. That will happen with, get the actual tickets in like a week or two, something like that. Not exactly sure. The tickets will be $5. I can share like a little infographic so that you can all share that. That would be awesome. Other things regarding the bus, I realized recently that the Berlin bus actually goes by it's called Expo station. However, the bus does not stop there. We looked into that a bit. Unfortunately, that bus is being paid for by, I believe, the university departments. So it's not quite so easy to just add a stop there, even though it seems like that should be relatively simple. Also putting out another survey regarding ways people get home and how often they get home, so we can further work to improve that process. And then regarding indoor navigation stuff, regarding local call signs, we had that agreement. And then we may also be beginning talks with the Hill about there's some buildings on the Hill where the first floor of the building is a floor that you cannot enter. So if you don't live in that particular building and accidentally go to the first floor thinking that you're trying to get out of the building, you'll actually be trapped and you won't be able to get back into the elevator because you have to swipe. So if we can turn off the little swiping thing to get back into the elevator, I think that's a relatively simple change, but right. So that one is going to be coming. We'll begin talks on that. And another thing is there's also one way that you can get trapped in Powell. I've done that on accident, but that's another story that we may not begin that one yet. And then we're still working on the budget analysis. There's just a lot of data, so it takes time. And with regards to, there's one more item that we were going to start working on, which was, I don't know if anyone is working on this currently, if so, please let me know. But the receipts are not compostable or biodegradable or recyclable for that matter. Are you working on that?
No, I'm not. Sustainable. Yeah. You can try. Later.
Sounds good. So we're thinking to we talked with the person from the front desk from Powell Library about this because they keep printing out receipts every time you check out a certain book. And so they actually have like trash cans just full of seeds. So if we can reduce that waste stream, because we don't really need the seeds every time we check out what we chose. So yeah, that's, I think, yeah.
Agenda 3, Brandon.
Hi, everybody. I'm gonna keep this very quick. Thank you to the finance committee for working with us to fully implement the food fund into contingency. It's now on the application. If your student organizations were to, like, that you work with, were to go on to, the contingency application, you'll see that on there. So thank you, Nadia, for that. That's one. Number two, I have forwarded to CRC series of bylaw changes and a constitutional amendment. I'm waiting to hear back on when the votes will be on that. So hopefully that's on the agenda for next week, the week after, before the end of the quarter. And then, I mean, that's basically all I have for now. There's some stuff in the works, but I want to get it settled before we bring it to council.
Thanks, Brandon. Okay, AAC, Naomi.
Hi everyone, so this Friday, myself and another one of my staff members is presenting our proposal to the Academic Senate's Undergraduate Council regarding textbook affordability and cost transparency. So we've just been working on that presentation and working with like UCLA Library and also just doing our own research that we've collected over the past years, but also within these most recent weeks. We are also working on our statement to send to the QUARS committee, which is also part of the Academic Senate as well, regarding the system-wide Senate Standardized Testing Task Force report that was released. If y'all haven't seen it, I really encourage you guys to look through our reading of the report, but also like using what we've already gathered. So if you have anything you want to say to that, the Academic Senate is currently collecting comments, so let me know if you have anything. We also sat in on the priority enrollment meeting this Friday, and I was able to help TSR and also the Student Independence Working Group present and put together that presentation. I didn't present, but I was able to definitely give a lot of my 2 cents in discussing the committee. If you've known, has been around since last year, like February. It's kind of a slow working committee because we're working around faculty and staff schedules. So we're hoping that students with dependents and also the rest of the undergraduate body will hear back from updated policies regarding priority enrollment. There were things that were voted on. I'm not sure if I'm technically allowed to say yet, so I'm just going to check in with the committee before I present anything to council. Other than that, SAC, AAC, TGIF, and ASUCLA partnered together last quarter to launch a course reader recycling program that's aimed to help not only recycle but also reduce the cost of what we call recycled course readers. So professors who use very similar content over the years, but they release a new course reader every quarter. We're hoping that is going to reduce the cost of course readers and also incentivize professors to really take into account the financial burden that course readers have on students. We're launching that spring 2020, and it's going to be at the end of every course reader from now on. It's really cool, and Lily and I are putting funds from TGIF and also from my own office to support advertising that to students. That's it.
Can I add on? Now we're also doing a larger TGIF grant to do giveaways. So you write your email and your name on the course reader, like you rip out the sheet, you write your name on it, and you get entered for a raffle for a gift card back to the textbook store. So we're trying to reduce the cost of textbooks and access to academia while also practicing sustainability.
My office has definitely been focused on access. So if you guys have any ideas for that or want to collaborate in any way, I'm open to hearing it, especially because I have a lot of access to the Academic Senate. So let me know.
Okay, With that, we're gonna move on to C, Tara.
My report has nothing new from last week, so I'm just gonna pass.
You're good. Okay, then we will move on to CSC, Chapel.
Our analytics team is hosting the second workshop in their series. So this series is about analyzing your data in service. So learning how to effectively and efficiently analyze your service organization's data. So it is tomorrow at 7 in Kirkhoff 408. There's two of them. They're so cool, and they're really passionate about this. And analytics is actually it's an underutilized portion of service, but it's one that I feel can be extremely helpful, and it's one that we found very helpful. So if you have a service org who is interested in learning more about how to use data and how to better serve their service recipients, tomorrow at 7. Other than that, again, SFS is closed for the rest of the quarter, week 1, spring, and that's what I got.
Thank you, John. Kat.
Tonight it's not tonight, it's tomorrow, is Wednesday. Work is tomorrow, and it is HIV awareness night, so we're programming around that. And then Hip Hop Congress has their explosion concert on Thursday night, which is really exciting because they sold out Grand Ballroom very quickly. Possibly will lose more tickets, but they're bringing Flo Millen, Colossus, Mike Sherm, and one DJ, so it's a function. Diversity Tour is going to Echo Park on Saturday, so that's also very exciting. That's going on. And then community is up to or hasn't been running with I haven't seen anything about it, so just February, February music. And then also I guess small update. It's pretty preliminary, but I'm working with basically my chief of staff and my health care are trying to find ways basically to make our a more comprehensive, more supportive funding body, instead of just getting money kind of being why. This is kind of building off of the surveys ideas from last year, and the reason that we do community and why it's so flexible and really aims to also provide resources and access. So we're kind of looking at ways that we're planning to change our finance to be more supportive to cultural beyond just people. So that's in the works. That's otherwise it.
Thank you. Fact.
Hi. Fact has a busy Wednesday next week. We have Broomzar 9 to 5. Middle of the day at some point, I need to really figure out. We have a meeting with all of the Hill execs to kind of reach our final negotiation with Ozzy. Mr. Ozzy himself reached out to me. He has offered, this is exciting, a very, very discounted price for a UC-wide implementation of Ozzy. So the stakes just got raised. Yeah, so we're gonna go to meet with the Hill execs next Wednesday. Also next Wednesday, from 6 to 9 in Geneva Auditorium. Lalo and I, alongside Disability Studies, are hosting a film screening for the Come As You Are. It's kind of a queer, disabled film. It's supposed to be funny. And a lot of the actors are Skyping in, and some are coming in person. We will also be providing food and drinks, so it's gonna be a function. I'm excited. Lily, where are the mugs? The mugs are coming. We are ordering them this week, and we're hoping to get them rolled out by the end of the quarter and fully roll them out really to the week 1 spring quarter, because we're purchasing them this week. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we mentioned the first reader recycling. I'm very excited about that. Yeah, that's all I have. Next week is a busy week for us.
I just wanted to say real quick, I totally forgot. Tomorrow's our Central American Counter Spaces event as well too. So again, Central American people, they have a voice. Come support them.
Oh wait, I remembered one more thing, and it has to do with you. AAC and FAC are hosting FAC. What? Oh, my name is Pat.
Okay, we're hosting a study hall every night. It tentatively is every night from like 6 to 10-ish hours on the hill. Joshua Connor helped us get space, and we're gonna have like snacks and coffee, good vibes. Back in AAC will be there offering support. So come through and study.
FSC.
Just really quick, we launched our brewing card fee waiver program, and so the application will open on this Monday, March 2nd. Yeah, and then we're partnering with GCGP on our lab coat rental program returns. So our lab coat rental program for spring quarter will open finals week, and then we'll go until the end of week 2 spring quarter. We're ongoing negotiations with ResLife right now on increasing the value of the meal swipe on campus. We met with ASUCLA last week, and they informed us that they give 60 cents of the $3.77 that vouchers currently are valued at, but they have no jurisdiction over deciding its overall value, so that lies solely on ResLife. So now we're going to partner with ASUCLA to put more pressure on ResLife to increase the current $3.77, and we're collaborating with Swipe Out Hunger, CalFresh, Eat Well, and the Economic Crisis Response Team. I also wanted to open up to any of your offices if you guys want to collaborate on that as well. I think like the more USAC offices that are on this, the more pressure ResLife will receive. Our Know Your Rights workshop in collaboration with Sexperts and BCC is on March 5th in Humanities A23 from 6 to 7 p.m. And then the Regents will be discussing the UC's partnership with Dignity Health at the Regents meeting at UCLA, which is coincidentally during our finals week. So in an effort to make sure that students' voices are still heard at this meeting, we'll be releasing a virtual public comment form for students to fill out and share their narratives, and it'll be presented at the meeting on March 17th.
Thank you. Oh yeah, okay, so we're going to go back to CSC for a second.
Sorry, I forgot something. Our advocacy committee is running a campaign this week, which I don't even know how I forgot about it because it's been huge for us. It's Schools and Communities First. So for those that don't know, Schools and Communities First is an initiative to get a proposition on the November 2020 ballot that will reclaim over $12 billion annually for K-12 public schools, community colleges, and local communities by closing a commercial property tax loophole and some shady schemes that big corporations and wealthy investors use to avoid paying their fair share of property taxes. So if you're a registered California voter, we started this week, but it will be out again on Bruin Walk on Wednesday to gain signatures. We need, this is not just CSC, obviously it's like a statewide initiative. We need like hundreds of thousands of signatures, but your signature is very well appreciated and needed to get this proposition on the ballot to then go towards the voters in November. So $12 billion for our schools. The reason that we are involved in this is because we firmly believe that a lot of our projects work in K-12 public schools, and that we need better funding for our public schools in order to not have to have our projects exist anymore. I think that's our overall goal, is to have us no longer exist. So yeah, Wednesday, tomorrow. Yeah.
Quick question, is this I know there's a Prop 13 on this ballot, but is this about the original Prop 13?
It's a statewide initiative, for the state November, but I don't know what the number is, frankly, but it's called Schools and Communities First.
But there was a Prop 13 in 1978 that is this sounds, it's okay, I can figure it out later.
Okay, no, I understand the question.
Yeah.
So this is different. Okay. Okay, are you good, Jonathan? Okay, we will move back to SWC.
Hey everyone, so to reiterate, Health for Heritage Week is all of this week. So I'm just gonna run through those events again, and then there's just a few more, and we'll be out of here fast. So Active Minds, this Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Is collaborating with Filipinos for Community Health, and they're putting on FCH, and they're putting on a huge event called Utakata One. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that, and it's physical and mental health in the Filipino community, and that's going to be in Bradley Hall. There's a bunch of performances and food, which is really exciting, traditional Filipino food. And then Brew Necessities Hygiene Drive with Bruins for Accessible Resources is still going on. And again, there's donation boxes outside the SWC office in Kirkhoff 308, GCGP in SAC, and the Rye Center in Louval. They also have a dental hygiene fair this Thursday at Bruin Plaza. So that's like free toothbrushes, toothpaste, and like screenings from like dental students. BCC, Bruin Consent Coalition, had like a Sexy Jeopardy event with CARE and with ASU, and that went really well yesterday. Earth's beach cleanup with ISU, so Indian Student Union and Pakistani Students Association, happened on Saturday, and there was like a really big turnout, and they picked up a lot of trash, and it was awesome. H&F's Health, Nutrition, and Fitness's allyship event with Special Olympics and Access on Board, shout out to BAC, is happening later this week. John Wooden Center Search, Unpacking Medical Racism with ASU is happening tonight. And yesterday they also had an event with Mesha that was like very well attended on like love potions and relationships. That was in Kirkhoff Art Gallery. Sexperts has a mini resource fair with blades for students with and without UC ship tomorrow from 2 to 4 p.m. And Total Wellness is collaborating with C Clear on an interactive mental health art exhibit on social media called Caught on Film, Food for the Feet. And that's going to be on Friday from 10 to 12 p.m. in Kirkhoff Grand Salon. And then next week, or not next week, sorry, still this week, Active Minds also has mental health monologues in Kirkhoff Art Gallery from 5 to 8 p.m. on Thursday. Bruin Gazette Coalition, I've linked in my officer report, and I'll send it to you all. There's like a Thinking Gender 2020 conference event that's happening on March 6th from 8 to 6:30 p.m. So if you're interested, please sign up. And then Sexperts comedy show last Friday went really great. It was in this very room, and it was completely full. People were standing. There were over 65 people. It was hilarious and very informative. And that's all from me.
Thank you. Transfer.
Thank you to everyone who has assisted with the early enrollment initiative we presented on Friday. We won't know the vote until like halfway through March, I think. And thank you to everyone who shared the petition, signed it. Hopefully it goes over really well. Also, save the date. April 24th is the transfer gala on the Hill in Marcel Commons. Graphics and details to come, but it's happening. Yeah, I mean, like, there's no real mechanism for me to check whether or not you're a transfer, but it is a night for celebrating transfers. So if you are a transfer or a transfer ally, you're totally welcome. It is formal attire, yes. Yeah. It was before. You have so much time. How much time do you need to buy your drawers? Whoa.
Okay, cool. ISR's not here. OCH's not here. Admin reps. Jessica.
Wait,
Oh, yes, Joanna.
for last week for my report, I was keeping up with UCLA athletics to release several like promotional videos for the voting stuff. Check them out, this is really cool. We'll continue to release them, including information about how to vote if you are deciding to go vote. They're really cool. And most of it all being about voting, so I recommend you check them out. Thank you.
Okay, back to Jessica.
Yes, so next week, spring quarter parking allocations should be opening up, so I'll be sending out the Google form later this week for you to sign up on. And then for the first week of the form being out, we'll only accept USAC officers, and then the second week we'll open it up to all staff. But as soon as the form's sent out, you can distribute to your office staff and tell them to sign up if they want to get a permit for spring quarter. And then the other thing we're working on soon, like in the next week or so, is sort of like a data collection project on USAC offices related to like staff and programming and like the impact of office programs and events on campus. So that's gonna be also like a short questionnaire, on a Google form that I'll share out, but if you can, respond to that once it comes out, it should be fairly easy. You can just use like your best guess estimate, it doesn't need to be a, specific number, but just to kind of get some metrics on the impact of like how many students are involved in USAC and then how many students are impacted by, the different programming that you all do through the year. So that will be coming soon.
Amanda? Dr. Geller?
Nothing specific to share. I've been forwarding some opportunities that are coming my way, and I'll continue to do that. As far as the referenda, there, a couple conversations we'll be having, and just a reminder that time is running out for us to start the process of getting OP to review. So for anyone working on the referenda, we want to move relatively quickly at this point to lock down language.
Okay. I'm going to go back to me for a second because I forgot two things. My email, like to the student body, I'll probably be sending out next week. I know Orion's been messaging me about including stuff in that, so I'm doing that. As far as I know, he's the only one who's asked to include stuff in that email. Okay. So just reach out to me, please, as soon as possible if you would like stuff included. I will definitely be centering the email on the elections upcoming and engaging in that. So yes, that is happening. So just please reach out to me. The other thing is the SACBOG decision. I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that and that it's in the minutes about the decision regarding that. So as you all know, we were waiting to hear back from Vice Chancellor Gordon about his decision regarding SACBOG. I briefly brought this up last week, kind of vaguely, but this week I have definitely more details, which is that this year and only this year, both USAC appointments and the committee chair appointments for the three committees will be serving on SAC board together as a whole. And then next year, from then on, USAC shall be responsible for appointing the appointments to serve on SACBOG, which is mandated in the charter, written explicitly in the charter, has been in the charter. So that will be happening for all future years. This summer, there will be a task force that tries to get the bylaws for the committees into compliance with the charter. I personally believe that in the future, hopefully the committees will be able to send recommendations to council and work with council, but then ultimately it is a council appointment solicited and approved by council. So yeah, and Lala, did you have anything to add to that?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Are those going to my bylaws since I already have the one SACBOG appointment?
So I feel like that's where they belong, probably.
Yeah.
So I would recommend that.
Okay, well, I'm doing the bylaw change very soon, so I can add that.
Okay, so yeah, it's not yet explicitly written in the bylaws, so it's kind of been served as a USAC appointment for the other three. So
Yeah.
that would be good. I know that years ago the president did it, but the president also did a lot of appointments years ago, and now they've been kind of distributed among council members. So given that you do Woodham,
I do SACBOG too.
well, in one SACBOG and Woodham, yeah. So it makes sense. So yeah, Lalo, do you have anything to add?
I was just gonna say for that language, I know there's some language in the bylaws that has the appointment with recommendation from certain committees. So I think that just be a good
Yeah.
I think for AC.
My AC appointment has that kind of language.
I think my concern with the bylaws is that they need to be approved by council. So
No, our bylaws.
our bylaws, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm referring to and then I'm referring to the SIOC and CRC bylaws. So, okay. Great. Okay, that's all I had. So we'll go back. Oh, also I'm adding an agenda item to new business, just a brief discussion item about the graduate strikes at UCSC and UC Santa Barbara. That was per request of Zach Fisher and the rest of GSA for us to talk about it. They want to gauge what the undergraduate support is for that. My laptop just died, so I will be looking at the TV the rest of the time. So that can just be added under new business, and we don't have to vote on that. No, for a discussion. Okay, we can do that for. Actually, do we mind doing that last, Kim? Thank you. Sorry. Okay, with that, we're going to move into our first discussion item. Thank you, Roy, for sticking around with us, kind of to go over the logistics of these two. So as you all know, the past like 3 weeks now, we've been bringing up referenda kind of broadly. I believe the language has been shared with all of council for these two referenda. These are two that have been kind of initiated and led either in part by USAC offices or just directly by USAC offices. So just like full transparency is Kalechi, Tara, myself, Kim, Lily, and a few other offices are pretty directly engaged in either or both of these referenda. Okay, Kalechi, my laptop's dead, or Kim, do you want mind sharing it with the rest of the council? Both of the referenda, what? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's right there, Okay.
Cultivating unity for groups.
And also, sorry, I'm charging my laptop, so But I mean, I really, Roy and Dr. Geller, like as well with you too, if you all could maybe, if you all want to contribute to this conversation, that would be awesome too. So just like an overview for what the referenda are, and like Kim, definitely with the SOS one, your input would be great too. Is currently SOS stands as like a $9 referenda. They would be very focused on distributing funding to USAC out to student organizations or student government organizations. So as I think Nadia made very clear again tonight and makes clear every week, our contingency fund is at like an all-time low and is in dire need of funding. So one of the primary purposes of this is adding $1.75 a quarter to the referenda fee to support contingency. Our SGOP has never been funded by direct student fees. It's always been funded by the leftovers of the budget, which leads it to be like $1,000. And also, Kalechi, I would, if you have what you would like to say about Room Dash, I feel like I would not be equipped. In CAC too.
Okay, as well. And then there's value for art too.
In addition to that too, like every year Bruin Bash has like, I don't want to say taken, but has asked for from surplus. Yeah, so to my point, I was just saying how like Bruin Bash has like used money from surplus, which we like tend to use for other things. So I think that would also free up some money for students.
Yeah, now that we're talking about like what's going on, I mean, it's not just you. I guess, yeah, it's just not just like, okay, 60K from council is not anything that anyone can bank on to pay for Room Bash like any other year. Like, you know, you're saying, like, obviously you want to use that towards different programs, so that's why the fee is there, and then it's $2 at least, because if you only ask for $1 for Room Bash, that would barely break even for how much you spent this year, and it's just like that wouldn't be sustainable at all. So there's no point in asking for $1 so they can afford it next year and they can't afford it the year after that. So that basically needs leeway, so at least it can hopefully comfortably fund Room Bash for upwards of 3 or 4 years. And then CAP specifically, I advocated for being on this referendum because like CAP has not seen an increase in a minute, and I know that SGOF is like also being run on this, but SGOF, like the money that comes from SGOF is not a considerable amount of money for my office, and yeah, it's not one of the commissions that has recently seen an increase, so CAP should not just be left behind to that, because it wasn't on wellness, it doesn't get money from SGOF. And then ARC in that same vein, basically, because I will always advocate for there being more funding going towards cultural organizations, and so that ARC can, like I was saying earlier, we're trying to make ARC, like change ARC's guidelines, so I also anticipate that like ARC will be able to give more money, along with like being able to reward the money being asked for.
Kim, do you leave it down? Okay. Dr. Dr. Keller and Roy, on this one? Do you all have any feedback? I mean, that you want us to say with council and not directly to us?
I can give a little context for this particular fee. This fee increases the amount of money that's currently coming in to some of the offices. So in the language, we're actually going to need to state how much each office currently gets and what their portion of the USAC fees will be after this passes. The combination of these items should work together because they're all USAC offices, and so that's the commonality. We will find out once this goes for formal review whether there are any concerns about the title, which seems to suggest it's more about student organizations than student government. If there is, you'll have the opportunity to get creative and find something else. The amount collected in summer is 60% of the amount collected in fall, winter, and spring per policy. And in the summer, it's only charged to those summer session students who are UC degree-seeking undergrads. So not everyone who enrolls in summer session pays referenda-based fees. Only those who are seeking a degree at one of the UC campuses are assessed referenda-based fees in the summer. So when you calculate how much money would come in, essentially you've got the 3 academic quarters you can count on, and then anything from summer is just the cherry on top, but it's not a dollar amount that you can really estimate. It's significantly lower than revenue in the other 3 quarters. And as soon as you have a number that you want to go with and language that you're comfortable with, we will send this to OP and begin the formal review.
So any questions about this referendum from anyone? Anybody?
In terms of ESCOP, were we able to find out whether or not AAC is included in that?
Is AAC included? I don't believe ESCOP. I don't think if AAC is included in the ESCOP allocation this year.
I believe it's one of the 8 offices, or is it 9?
So it's listed in the USAC bylaws. It calls out every office that receives ESCOP funding. So I can open it really quick, but yeah.
Let me look at that real quick.
And Robert, I mean, I guess if I may just say
Yeah, of course.
something. You know, the only thing I would say about this referendum in general is that for many years each year, I have described to council sort of different characteristics and sort of the corrosive effect of inflation eating away at the purchasing power of your offices, your programs, your funding bodies. So, you know, I think that this referendum speaks in substantial ways to that sort of deterioration of purchasing power and the way that it impacts, you know, available funding for student groups and their programming at a time when in the state of California, you know, over these few years, you know, a lot of these things are costs that are paid to students to support, you know, in production of events or in, you know, operating events. And as minimum wage increases in the city and in the state, you know, these are some of the things that drive the increased cost set that, you know, is the community that we aspire to be. And so, you know, those things come with prices. And this is some of what we see in these sort of deteriorated purchasing power. So, you know, I mean, that's just would be my main commentary is a lot of these things really just speak directly to that trying to maintain purchasing power over these years.
Yeah, and in case everybody didn't read, it's the president, the IVP, the Gen Rep 1, Gen Rep 2, Gen Rep 3, Transfer Rep, Financial Supports Commissioner, and Facilities Commissioner are the ones that receive ESCOP funding.
And it should be ISR.
And
too,
ISR.
I think, yeah, there's a typo on this version.
So, yes. Naomi, does that address your question / concern?
I mean, I just want to know why.
Can we, okay, my question is, can we hypothetically change, in the event of a referenda that significantly increases ESCOP, can we change the bylaws to be distributed and include other offices?
I mean, the reason why, specific offices were called out in the bylaws for receiving SCOF is because those are the offices that don't receive funding from anywhere else but SCOF, like they don't receive any referenda funds for any type of programming or funding that they allocate. So any offices that have money coming in, that even if it's money they're allocating out to groups, they're not included in SCOF. ISR is supposed to be in, there's a typo in this one that's on the website, but yes, ISR is included in the, so now it's 9, it was 8 with the 14 offices, now it's 15 that receive SCOF funds.
Yeah, so, this is an example of this loss of purchasing power through inflation eating your purchasing power. So as a reminder, years and years ago, all council offices received a share of SCOF. And I believe that years ago they proposed budgets for how to utilize the money. And as it became over the years tighter and tighter and tighter and dwindled to such a small amount of money that it was becoming completely dysfunctional, is when council, in order to stretch the dollars a little bit further, made the choice to take other offices out because they had some sources of funding and the offices listed had no other way to have any funding. By reducing the number of offices that receive some of the money, it stretched it a bit further. This is the only reason any of it happens. So again, if money is restored, it's completely council's discretion as to how to do that.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, this is like the thing that I feel most like focused on, I think, for this referendum. Obviously, like Kelechi and Tara are like leading this kind of initiative with Brew and Bash and CAC, but and Nadia with contingency, but with SCOF, a $1 increase in the fee would essentially, like if you do the math, be about $10,000 per each of our offices. And there's an argument to be made of, well, what would the offices even do with that? And I think my question is like, A, they used to have that funding to do good work, but then B, it's been so long that like we can't really make a justification for how we'll use the money until we have the money, because we've been operating on $1,000 for like a while now. So like I definitely believe that offices like FAC and Financial Supports Commission in my office and the IVP like would be able to do really good work with the platforms we want to do with this funding. I mean, Kim and I and Millen and Lily have all had to come to council to like quite literally ask for surplus money just to accomplish our platforms that we ran on. Surplus is like not always going to be here, and it's very quickly going to arrive where it's not here, and surplus shouldn't be used. Like I agree that ideally surplus shouldn't go back to USAC offices. The problem is it's had to like recently because of the struggles we faced. So I just want to like emphasize that I feel really passionate about that. The reason this is being brought up at council tonight is just because like I hope that like you all will get behind this, because it does benefit all of council. It does benefit every single student org on campus that applies to our funding bodies, and it benefits Brew and Bash, and it benefits CAC and cultural organizations that have had a very long-standing problem with funding their culture nights, yield events. So yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, to Roy's comment, that was why I had brought it up, because like looking at AAC's budget and being in it for 3 years, we used the same $27,000 to allocate to student groups and individuals for the travel grant. Then we used the same $18,000 to allocate to student groups for ASR. And because inflation, like none of our referenda account for inflation, we've used like the same amount of money to do the same work. And like I've made it my mission to expand Books for Bruins, and I'm currently looking for other funding sources, but that was the only reason I brought it up. I'm okay with, like, if AZ had to run its own referendum in the future, I would be like okay with that, I guess, because I wouldn't be here. But and I would still help, but I just think the only reason I brought it up was because we are affected by like what Roy is saying.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, Roy. Yeah.
I'm not responding to that comment, but another point just to make on this general subject of SCOF monies. One thing I think is really fair for y'all to understand. In order to have a student association that is the government that represents the entire 30,000 student undergraduate student body, in order for that association to be effective, there has to be minimal amounts of money in each of the elected offices so that they can do their work, so that the electorate, when it, votes and chooses to have people represent them, those elected officers are able to bring about and to act in a reasonable manner. And I think, these sort of minimal amounts of money, I hardly think are anything like luxurious. These are sort of minimal amounts of money to have an effective association at its most foundational basis, which is the offices that can operate and can function in a reasonable manner.
And Naomi, I'm totally for you like submitting a bylaw change if you want and advocating for that. I think like obviously the thing we're trying to avoid is then like every office hopping on, because then that leads us back to the same problem, distributing a small amount of money, especially among like offices that might have like funding coming in for referendum. So it's just something to think about, but definitely like you have the full ability to present and make a point to include this. And if that motivates AAC to like get more on board with the referendum, I think like obviously that's a win. And by the way, Navi, I think we discussed this too. USAC offices like are capable of endorsing referenda and getting behind referenda. Yeah. Do you want to add your comments on that?
If they go through the endorsement process.
Yes, if they go through the endorsements process. And like the reason for that is that like an office that's advocating for money for its office should be able to support that and do that advocacy. That's different than a candidate, and there's the distinguishments there, but just something to think about. So like I know my office will definitely be getting behind this. Cool. Any questions before we move on to Cubs? Okay. Cubs is the larger referenda. It currently sits at $15. Lalo, do you want to talk about it?
I mean, from last week, we haven't really changed much on the product, and what we did was refine the language once we talked to like the transfer leadership coalition, just to make sure the language was like proper, and like we can't do like how the funding was gonna be, but everyone had an idea on like what it like could be scored. We did like add like specifically like the Black Resource Center, the point that like it will also support like programming and development and maintenance of a Black Resource Center, because that's something we felt was like important, because it's not just like having space, it's also like having the resources needed to like allow space to run. But yeah, I mean that's basically the kind of change. Y'all can read it over, not much to change, and just tweak the language to make sure that proper folks who are like mentioned within the start round have the ability to like advocate once like the money is being like out.
Yeah, and just to like add on to that, I don't want to like confirm anything too quickly, but I know folks like within leadership within ASU have like indicated that they might be interested in helping to lead this referenda. So that's something to consider too. But yeah, Roy, I know we and you and other folks have been working a lot on this too. So anything you'd like to add?
So we have an evolution in the language that I haven't seen yet, that I'm not sure. It seems to have shifted away from imagery that relates a lot to ASUCLA working in partnership with USA. The critical distinction is, a lot of the representations that would allow us to bring about this significant change has to be coming from the perspective of part of the university that's in a position to allocate space in this way. So, the way that it's reading right now, it seems like it goes directly into USA.
Instead of the board.
That's what we had intended.
We intended for it to go to VOD, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who changed that. Dr. Lo, did you maybe change that?
So if the funds are intended to go to the ASUCLA Board of Directors, we need to specify that.
I believe that's what I thought the
Well,
language was saying.
it's not,
Supplemental ballot information.
Yeah.
We had it in the like shop like that phrase. I don't think you ever specified it.
The
My
language I saw said the ASU-CLA Board of Directors will have oversight over spatial development supported by the referendum. It didn't say that all of the funds would go to that.
So following this referendum, the ASU-CLA will be committed to providing substantial space. And then the referenda shall be used for continuous undergraduate ASU-CLA programming, development, and maintenance in the Block Resource Center. Development, maintenance, meditation space within ASU-CLA. The ASU-CLA Board of Directors is student-run, majority will have oversight over all spatial development. That's what you had said. I thought that in the original ballot language we had, it said ASU-CLA and USAC.
But ASU-CLA can't run the referendum. So the
Yes.
question has to begin, shall USAC, but it can state, but give the money to ASU-CLA to do the following things.
Well, so I'm not really following that. So, essentially, there is a student union fee that goes to ASU-CLA. That is the mechanism by which we essentially brought about toward the Sciences Student Center and a number of other renovations and a number of other programs. So that essentially is what this referenda was really, the path it was trying to follow in order to bring about development of new space. Either reallocation of, primarily to reallocate and secure certain existing spaces and to underpin the wherewithal to continue development of space to bring about even more significantly positive space outcomes.
So where we need to be careful, if we try and increase an existing fee that is not currently subject to the 25% return to aid component, we trigger 25% of the existing fee being redirected to aid. So we want this to be a new fee. It could be seen as a supplemental student union fee to, and so it's wordsmithing the right language so that it is a new fee that will benefit ASU-CLA, which will in turn provide the specified programs and services for undergrads.
Yeah, that I think is the intention of the group that was working on this, is that sort of original language, talked about ASU-CLA, talked about the board, fee going to the board of directors.
Okay, so I literally just changed it to, shall the Undergraduate Students Association address the space, resource, and programming needs of undergraduate students from historically underrepresented and marginalized communities by implementing a supplemental ASU-CLA student union fee of $15 per undergraduate per quarter.
Okay, so is that a new requisite form of the question that it needs to be framed in that way?
It needs to say that it's USAC creating a fee, that it's a new fee, and that the funds from it are going to go to ASU-CLA.
Okay, so as long as that passes that test. Because certain things, there are funds that go directly to ComBoard. There are funds that come directly into your SGA group, and there's funds that go directly into the ASU-CLA county system. So those paths, or the GSA. So if that does that, then I think that we're good.
Okay, great.
In terms of the technicals.
Yes. Do people have questions about this referendum? No. Okay. So we'll be voting on this probably closer to when the ballot's presented. I think Navi and I talked about week 2, probably being around that time. So somewhere then. So be on the lookout for that. And thank you, like Lalo, Lily, Kalechi, Naomi, like other folks who have definitely had leadership in this too. So I appreciate it. Okay, that's all I wanted to talk about, was to update you all. With that, I think we're going to move into a personnel matter. I would request that Jimmy, and if Roy wants to, we include them in this. given that Jimmy's the Office of the President Appointments Director and has been engaged in this dialogue. So, yeah.
Do we have to motion to leave them in the room, or can you?
So I would motion to go into executive session, including Jimmy and Brooke.
Sure. I motion to enter executive session, and to include Jimmy and Roy as a part of the conversation.
I second.
All in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Am I missing anybody? Anybody abstaining? Or no? Okay. By motion of 11 to 0 to 0. Is Roy coming back in? Okay. Okay, is USAC live on? Yep. Okay, we have concluded the executive session, no action was taken, and we were just discussing a personnel matter. So.
You took action.
Hmm?
Can you decide to send a letter?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You
should.
took action.
Okay, we took action to send a letter to an appointment regarding a notice of intent to remove. Cool, sorry. Okay, clarification. Okay, moving on with the last discussion item, which is just the graduate student strikes. Just so everybody knows, currently the graduate students at UC Santa Cruz are on strike and have continued to go on strike regarding the cost of housing, the cost of living here, broadly speaking. UC Santa Barbara has also recently gone on strike, and today during a meeting among graduate student leaders, I talked briefly with Zach just and wanted to understand what undergraduates' opinions were on this matter. Like if you all heard anything, like do undergraduate students support the strikes broadly? Like do students not care? So just like a brief conversation about that from the undergraduate that I can relay to Zach.
With campuses, from undergrads to the solidarity with graduate students. So I know Santa Barbara officially declared that they're going on strike, but other campuses have been doing their own actions. And I was already mentioned, I was at an action today, there's other actions throughout the city, probably for the foreseeable future. So there's movement going on around this, and students are in support.
Great. Anybody else have any comments about this? So Zach indicated to me that that was like not necessary right at this moment. I think we posed a hypothetical that if UCLA graduate students were to take more serious action, like would council be willing to support that? And that was like a hypothetical posed to council. Lalo, you want to say something?
Oh, no, I was gonna say like, are you asking if we're gonna support it, we come forward with this, or like confused?
Yeah, just like what you've been hearing and your personal thoughts on it. Like,
I mean, I was there taking it the COVID period. It was definitely a very tense environment. There were people, so like we're in John Olive, like the opposite stuff below, right? And like above that, there's like the patio for kneecaps. There was people up there kind of like watching us. There was an older white guy there, kind of. It looked like he was recording, but anytime someone tried to check, it kind of like slipped his phone away. So it was definitely very tense and a very unsafe situation for a lot of students. And there wasn't a lot of support on the admin end from what I saw. So like
Housing admin that were telling students to go swipe elsewhere. Josh Connor came out telling people that there's video recordings, and so if you go into the dining hall and don't swipe, you will be referred to student comment committee, which is why I mentioned it's an issue for visual recognition stuff. But in general, there was a lot of RVs that I recognized outside monitoring the situation. Yeah, it was definitely a once in a lifetime kind of thing, and also a really important thing.
And there were a lot of like undergrads that like were just going to Cobell just to go to Cobell, and then they're like, "What's going on?" So then like people were informing them what's going on, and everyone for the most part seemed to be like, "Oh yeah, like they need that, like they need that essentially the cost of living adjustment."
So yeah, so the students who, like the undergrads who were like going to Cobell, when they were asking questions, they would support. I talked to several graduate students who showed up, and they were very happy that we were supporting them, even though they were also anxious about us going to Cobell. So I can say just from being there on the front lines, it was a very cool opportunity. It just reinforces the validity of this movement.
appreciate that. Orion.
Wait, was this for?
Sorry, Orion. Yes.
Was this for UCLA graduate students, or is this all still for?
Solidarity with going on with CAC.
Okay. The impression that I was getting was it just seemed a little bit random to do
interactions are creative. I would say there's no proper way to do a demonstration or an action, so I think just because it's random doesn't mean, there's a difference between random and creative, and I would definitely call this incident more of a creative thing that I've seen. And I've been involved in several actions during my academy students, so it says a lot about the university's ability to support its students. Like, there's a reason they had it at a dining hall versus just doing a random protest on campus or whatever. Like, there's certain lessons you're trying to say. Like, when you talk about cost of living adjustment, we're talking about basic needs and the person's ability to afford rent and eat on a daily basis. So you're asking grad students to do work for you, but not supporting their right? So I know it seems random, but I would encourage you to think of it more as something that's creative and thoughtful and strategic. Because, yeah, this was a very, like as well said, it was a very tense situation, but it's something that needs to happen.
I was just wanted to just like before we go on, but I think it was random, like it's definitely strategic. Joy was saying to occupy space of the university was financially interested in people being able to enter versus like standing out in the quad, not disturbing out there or anything, and knowing part of the reason that, part of this thing for them to essentially take over dining halls was inspired by stuff of students from other UCs that occupy other buildings, so it's like very much not random at all, it's very intentional.
I think it worked because Cobalt was shutting down at 7:30 instead of 9 o'clock anyway, so the message was definitely sent and that is very aware that or everyone is very well that like it worked.
Yeah, so other people's thoughts? Because I'm gonna communicate this all with Zach so that he, GSA, and folks in that space can make a decision on how to move forward. I think that our voice to graduate students is pretty important. It's like the thing that I've gathered at least, and that they appreciate support. Yeah. Any final comments about this?
I would ask, who are you asking besides us, the council, about student support for this?
So Zach wanted me specifically to reach out to
Just to
council.
council.
Yeah, so, I mean, if he or other graduate students would like me to like reach out to other folks, I can definitely do that. I think the reason he wanted to come to council was because of a future possibility of writing some sort of statement or something pertaining to like an action item by the student government. Okay. Okay, with that then, we will adjourn at 9:34. Okay, we'll turn off USAC Live and go into good and welfare. Yay. Do you mind just pressing the in button?
Oh, yeah.
The red in button, thank you.
The end screen.
Yeah, thank you.